complicated for Simon Holt, but I can assure you, as people still make their way out for vantage points in the course, he won't put a foot wrong over the 32 obstacles. We're in the safest hands in the game, Simon Holt.
Well, that's a prelude for a serious mistake, if ever there was one, as they come into line and they step away for this Glenfarclas cross-country handicap chase. 32 fences to be jumped, and heads on the ground into an early lead in the hands of Nina Carberry. From in the red jacket, Mr. Big, Soleil fixes towards the inside, then Double Dizzy, Silver Birch, Sizing Australia, King Harold, all of these in the leading 7 or 8, followed then by Garde, Champetre towards the inside, and Freneys well close up as well. 3 runners here for JP McManus. The leader heads on the ground, the mainly green cap, white cap Garde, Champetre, and Freneys well in a quartered cap, green and yellow quartered cap. If you're looking out for those at the moment, the back marker is O Solo Mio. Fence 4 is the Aintree jump, which they need to really jump at an angle because there's a sharp left-hand turn on the landing side. It's built to resemble the canal turn at the Grand National course. Mr. Big and Soleil Fix also made a mistake. Mr. Big was down on his nose, Soleil Fix blundered. Now they're racing downhill across the centre of the racecourse, and heads on the ground from Mr. Big in second place. They're all still standing. Cornish Set is one of those out the back. Maljimar has held up a long way off the pace. His first run over these fences, Maljimar. He loves Cheltenham. It would be just a question whether he's going to get the trip, 3 miles and 7 furlongs, as they now cross the racecourse, and heads on the ground from Mr. Big. Then Double Dizzy and Soleil Fix from Sizing Australia in the red cap in about 5th or 6th, the inside of Silver Birch, the 2007 Grand National winner. Silver Birch well in touch. Onto the timber rails, they take this a couple of times, and the ground, Nina Carberry heads on the ground, 10 pounds better off at the weights today compared, that is with Garde Champetre, compared to their running at the Paddy Power meeting about a month ago. It's a good chance for heads on the ground, strictly on the form to turn the tables. Clear of Mr. Big, Double Dizzy 3rd, then Soleil Fix and Sizing Australia, jumping this hedge. Then the grey Rimsky, Silver Birch in a noseband the outside of King Harold. King Harold in the past has often been a front runner, but ridden with a deal of restraint at the moment. White cap Garde Champetre towards the right of your picture is in the midfield alongside Freneys well. Then A New Story, and Cornish Set in a noseband out wide of Pack Jack, and then Maljimar as they now head over this next ditch. Some good jumps there from the leaders. O Solo Mio remains towards the rear along with Royal County Star. So on now to fence number 12. And taking this one, heads on the ground from Mr. Big and Soleil Fix. O Solo Mio didn't get too high towards the rear of the field as they race now towards the bank, which is taken twice in different directions. And this will be new to some of these, and heads on the ground. Very experienced Banks horse, takes it in really good style. Little nod from A New Story in the second half of the field. O Solo Mio slightly detached. Now the water jump, and heads on the ground from Mr. Big. Then Double Dizzy and Soleil Fix, followed by Sizing Australia and Rimsky. Towards the rear there, Cornish Set second last. O Solo Mio in last place, swinging left-handed back in front of the stands, coming to the end of their first circuit. And the next is the Cheese Wedges, the Cheese Double. And it's heads on the ground by a couple of lengths to Mr. Big. Soleil Fix, Double Dizzy on the outside, Sizing Australia from Rimsky. And their Royal County Star is unseated, and Cornish Set has refused. Cornish Set not taking to the Cheese Wedges at all. And Royal County Star is unseated, Ken Whelan, and pulling up O Solo Mio. And one has gone the wrong way. Soleil Fix has gone the wrong way. King Harold has unseated the rider. And it looks as though Silver Birch somewhere along the line has taken the wrong course as well. So a fair amount of carnage there between the Cheese Wedges and the Bend. We'll maybe have a look at that after the race, because we've lost 4 or 5 of the runners there. And meanwhile, heads on the ground still leads the way. Loose horse on the inside, heads on the ground, crossing the bank. Oh, just screwed a little, didn't he? Heads on the ground. Nina Carberry had to sit pretty tight there. This loose horse could be a little troublesome. Mr. Big in the red jacket. Double Dizzy remains close up with Rimsky, and then Sizing Australia. Garde, Champetre. The field greatly reduced now as they race towards the next. A double bank this time, at which Mr. Big took over from heads on the ground there. Then Rimsky and Double Dizzy right round the inside. Sizing Australia still going along quite nicely after those as they race towards the 20th of 32 fences. And heads on the ground from Mr. Big. At the back of them, a new story still going. Maljimar still weighted with towards the back, with Pack Jack as well, still in the race as well. Across the race course once again. And on now towards the 21st, heads on the ground from Mr. Big, Rimsky, and then Double Dizzy, Sizing Australia, Garde, Champetre and Freneys well, Pack Jack, Maljimar, and a new story as they head back towards the water jump after a right-hand turn. And so looking 5, 6, 7, 8, about 10 of them now only left running from the 16 that started, and all of them out of the race at around the cheese wedges and just after it. Onto the water jump then, with just over a circuit left to travel. Heads on the ground, back in front from Mr. Big, followed by Double Dizzy and Rimsky, as they now race again in front of the stands with 10 left to take. The next is a hedge, and big crowd watching this fence, and heads on the ground from Mr. Big, Double Dizzy the light blue, the grey Rimsky, red cap Sizing Australia, then Pack Jack making a bit of progress, Garde Champetre very quietly ridden by JT McNamara, of course has ridden many winners around this course, mostly on Spot the Difference. The legendary Banks horse Freneys well is just ahead of Garde Champetre, then Maljimar is second last, and lastly is a new story. So racing away from the stands now on the final lap of the track, a short circuit, and it's heads on the ground, pressing on here under Nina Carberry by about 3 lengths there to Double Dizzy in second place. Mr. Big Sizing Australia, Garde Champetre still on the inside in about 7th place at this point, 7 left to jump. Heads on the ground led there, Garde Champetre making headway, going well. As they now race back to the Aintree fence, then they'll swing left-handed. There'll be 3 in a row downhill, and then 2 stuffed hurdles to finish. And heads on the ground has made practically all. Double Dizzy on the left. Got to get the angle right here. Here we go, over Aintree. Heads on the ground, comes in to take it. Double Dizzy a bit wider. Rimsky wasn't too fluent. Neither was Maljimar at the back of the field. Swinging towards 5 out now. Heads on the ground, about 2 lengths to Double Dizzy. Sizing Australia still going pretty well. Yellow sleeves, red cap. They jump the next. Garde Champetre moves into 4th place with a steady run. JT McNamara. Freneys well after these. This is 3 out. Double Dizzy heads on the ground there. Followed by Sizing Australia. Garde Champetre, but a little bit of ground to make up. He's about 8 lengths behind the leader. Double Dizzy and heads on the ground. They turn together towards the second last. About 3 or 4 lengths away is Sizing Australia. JT McNamara not pressing any panic buttons yet on Garde Champetre, but he's got a big weight, this horse, of course, today. Then Maljimar trying to get into it. The orange jacket from Freneys well, and Pack Jack. They swing for home. Heads on the ground. Regains the lead from Double Dizzy. Look on the outside, though. On the left, Garde Champetre now. Oh, quickening up like a class act. Sizing Australia joining in over the last. Sizing Australia just led. Garde Champetre now being asked the question on the stand side. Maljimar, Freneys well behind these. Garde Champetre is driving up the stands rail to challenge Sizing Australia with 100 yards left to go. Garde Champetre forges ahead once again. Is Garde Champetre from Sizing Australia, and a 5th win round the cross-country track for Garde Champetre under the welter burden of 11 stone 12. Beats Sizing Australia. Maljimar 3rd. Then Freneys well, a new story. Double Dizzy heads on the ground, weakening. Pack Jack, Rimsky, and Mr. Big was the last to finish. Well, it helps if you've got a horse with a touch of class, but that was a beautifully judged ride by JT McNamara there on this terrific 10-year-old who was just cruising in behind the leaders, and what he had which made all the difference, he just had that little bit of toe which got him into the race. Here's Alice with JT.
Well, JT, you seem to have a lot of thank yous to give.
I do. Nina and JP and Frank Berry. Thanks for the ride. He was absolutely brilliant. Travelled the whole way. I don't want to be in front too soon. Just cantered away.
You two, you've all got the key to this horse now, because through the race you think crumbs are sitting off the pace.
He just travels away. He loves passing horses. It's key to him, just keep coming.
And you and Nina, you're just taking turns coming up this hill.
But I've been second the last 5 times round here. 5 out of 6.
Well, you've bagged one now. Well done.
Thanks very much.
Well done, Jason.
Well, the